Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really accelerating your understanding of what's next in tech. We're cutting through the noise in the McKinsey Technology Trends Outlook 2025 report.
Yeah, it's a big report, 13 trends. We've dug through it to pull out what you absolutely need to know.
And our mission today is, well, it's a deep exploration, focusing on maybe three core things.
Exactly. First, the rise of what they're calling Agentic AI. Second, why Asia is so central, like fundamentally driving global tech adoption.
And third, this is the one that really struck me. The biggest hurdles aren't even technical, they're organizational.
That's the kicker, isn't it? That organizational piece.
Yeah.
The analysis suggests, I think it was something like 80% of the challenge for leaders adopting this frontier tech.
Yeah.
It's internal.
Right. Inside your own building, it's about strategy, it's about talent. It looks like a tech problem, but it's kind of masquerading,
Totally. So we boiled down these 13 trends into three main buckets. You've got the AI revolution, then compute and connectivity frontiers, and finally cutting-edge engineering.
And we're focusing on the real heavy hitters. Agentic AI, advanced semiconductors, and robotics. Because these are the ones really shaking things up right now economically.
Let's start with Agentic AI.
Yeah, that term really jumped out.
Wow.
We all kind of get generative AI now creates text, images, that sort of thing. What's the big difference here? What makes it agentic?
Well, the key shift is from response to action. Generative AI, talks to you, makes stuff. An agentic AI system or an agent, it's designed to actually do things autonomously.
Do things, like
Yeah.
complex things.
Yeah, complex, multi-step tasks, workflows, to achieve a goal you set. Think of it less like an intern you're constantly watching and more like a specialized contractor you hire.
Okay, a contractor who runs a whole project, start to finish.
Pretty much. Analyzing, planning, executing, that's the vision.
That sounds like a huge leap in autonomy, but the report also says it's, early days, a multi-year journey.
It definitely is still early.
So if it's still in its infancy, why the urgency? Why are they telling leaders you can't wait on the sidelines? Doesn't that kind of contradict?
That's a really critical point. The urgency isn't about having perfect agents tomorrow. It's about building the organizational muscle now so you're ready when they do mature.
Ah, okay. So it's about readiness.
Right. Competitive advantage here is going to be defined by speed of adoption, not who invented the first agent. If you wait, you basically lose the chance to experiment, to retrain your people, to figure out how this stuff actually fits.
And you can't have these action-oriented AIs without some serious horsepower, right? Which takes us straight to trend number 2, advanced semiconductors.
Exactly. Moore's law might be, slowing down for general chips, but the demand for specialized processing, especially AI-specific chips, that's just exploded.
So it's not just faster, it's different kinds of fast.
Precisely. The value creation is shifting. It used to be all about clock speed, rule CPUs. Now, it's application-specific chips, custom processors built just for AI tasks.
Why are they better for AI?
They're brilliant at parallel processing, running tons of calculations all at once, which is exactly what you need for training these huge AI models.
It was pretty striking that the analysis found the world's most valuable company right now is a semiconductor firm.
It really is. I mean, that tells you everything, doesn't it? It shows where the fundamental value sits in this new economy. It's not just speed, it's efficiency for specific applications.
These chips are basically the engine for that agentic future you mentioned.
They are the core engine.
Okay, so beyond those big foundational trends, AI and chips, the report mentioned that this AI demand is actually boosting some other trends, things that might have been like hidden gems.
Yeah, that's right. Trends that have been around a while but are getting a huge shot in the arm because of AI's needs.
Like data center cooling.
Absolutely essential. The analysis points to AI data center growth just exploding. Some estimates are like 30% year over year.
Wow.
And these AI systems, they pack in so much compute power, they generate way more heat than traditional setups.
Yeah.
You just can't cool them effectively with regular air conditioning anymore.
So what's the solution?
You have to move to liquid cooling, often running liquid like directly over the hot components. It used to be niche. Now it's becoming a necessity. Pure engineering driven by demand.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second hidden gem they mentioned was AR/VR, augmented and virtual reality.
Yeah, and this one's interesting because, it was so hyped up before. The whole metaverse thing.
Right. It seems like it fizzled a bit.
It kind of did, the big grand vision at least. But What's happening now is more practical, more seamless integration into everyday things.
Like what?
Think about those smart sunglasses that are coming out.
Yeah.
AI-enabled. They can take pictures, record video, send messages, even post to social media, just with your voice.
Ah, so it's less about escaping to a virtual world and more about enhancing the real one.
Exactly. The tech's normalized. It's moving from this, like, abstract experience to being a genuinely useful tool.
Hmm.
And that's fueled by better, smaller, more efficient processors connecting back to the semiconductor trend.
Okay, so if compute power and chips are the core engine, we really have to talk about where that engine is built. And that brings us squarely to Asia.
It really does.
Let's pivot then. Why is Asia not just, playing along, but actually the fundamental foundation for so much of this global progress?
Well, it's a combination of things. Sheer scale, for
Yeah.
one, but also manufacturing concentration and really diverse ecosystems. They just amplify all these trends we've been talking about.
How so? Like the supply chain?
Exactly. If you trace the semiconductor stack where all the components come from, the vast majority is physically built in Asia. You've got advanced memory chips from Japan and South Korea, core manufacturing in parts of China.
So Asia basically sets the pace for the global AI hardware rollout because they make the stuff.
To a large extent, yes. And the
Yeah.
investment goes beyond just the chips themselves. Think about data centers again.
Right, the cooling problem.
And just a sheer number of them needed. Because of favorable geography, access to power, land, there are massive investments pouring into building new, huge data centers across Asia, specifically designed for heavy AI workloads needed for, say, agentic AI development.
So they're providing the physical infrastructure at scale.
Yes, a scalable foundation.
But it's not just hardware, is it? The report talks about adoption, too, like countries with big tech service hubs, India, the Philippines.
Right. They're experimenting like crazy, embedding agentic AI at scale, trying to automate complex workflows, both internally and for clients. They have the large workforces and the IT infrastructure to test these things out quickly.
And then there are the super apps.
Oh yeah, the super apps in places like China, Indonesia, India, South Korea. These are huge drivers. They combine everything, shopping, finance, social media, into one platform.
How does that accelerate AI?
Well, they gather enormous amounts of integrated user data across all those activities. That data is gold for training sophisticated AI models, often much faster than you can in, say, Western markets where ecosystems are more fragmented.
And we also see leadership in other areas like connectivity, 5G.
Definitely. Asia's pioneering 5G rollouts, really setting the global benchmarks for speed and low latency, which you absolutely need for things like connected cars, smart cities, advanced robotics.
Speaking of robotics, the report mentioned that too. Physical AI.
Yes, rapid innovation there,
Huh.
moving robotics beyond just the factory floor into services, healthcare. They even mentioned the Robotics Olympics in Beijing as an example of how competition is pushing the boundaries of physical AI.
And electric vehicles seem related too.
Absolutely. Look at the swift adoption and the falling prices of EVs in many Asian markets. That's defining the global automotive future. The speed of implementation there often forces faster maturation everywhere else.
Okay, let's talk about another factor the report highlighted for Asia, demographics, this immense diversity in age, language. How does that accelerate things?
It creates unique pressures and opportunities. It forces innovation. Consider the contrast. On one side, you've got these incredibly young, digitally native populations. Think Indonesia, India, Vietnam.
Right, they adopt tech fast.
Super fast. The analysis noted Indonesia, for instance, has one of the highest rates of people using AI overview features in search results globally. Young people are just jumping on these AI tools for education, daily life. That gives developers really rapid feedback.
And on the flip side,
You have aging societies like Japan and China. They're facing labor shortages. So they're leaning heavily on AI and robotics out of necessity, really, to deliver the next level of care for seniors, to automate tasks.
so necessity is driving health tech innovation there,
Exactly. And those breakthroughs will likely benefit everyone eventually. And then there's language diversity.
within countries even.
Hugely. Think about India or Indonesia with its, 17,000 islands. Live AI translation built into mobile devices isn't just a cool feature. It's becoming a fundamental tool for inclusion, for bridging communication gaps across vast populations.
That's powerful. Now, shifting gears slightly to industry impact, the report seemed to say AI and cloud are like universal, foundational everywhere.
Yes, absolutely. Every company, every sector needs to figure out its cloud strategy, how it's going to use AI, probably agentic AI eventually. Those are table stakes.
But some other trends are more specialized. They have fingerprints, as the report put it.
Right. Take bioengineering.
Yeah.
Super fascinating. But its relevance is much more focused, though potentially massive in those areas.
What kind of areas? The report mentioned some cool examples.
Yeah, things like creating artificial spider silk, can you imagine, for advanced fabrics, or developing climate-resistant crops using bioengineering to help with food security. That's near-term stuff, changing physical industries. Material science.
And then way on the other end of the spectrum, quantum computing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still very long-term, very niche, even though we're seeing some chip advances. Its applications are highly specialized.
Yeah.
Things like ultra-secure cryptography for banks or complex simulations for drug discovery and pharma, problems that current computers just choke on.
So the takeaway for leaders here isn't to chase every shiny object.
Definitely not. It's about alignment. You don't need a strategy for all 13 trends. You need to deeply understand maybe 5 or 6 that are truly relevant to your specific business, your industry, and weave them into your corporate roadmap.
Which brings us right back to where we started, that central paradox, the 80% problem.
Yeah, all this amazing tech potential. But the report hammers home that most failures, most delays, they come down to organizational issues, not the tech itself.
Why is that gap so persistent generation after generation of tech?
Often it's a leadership failure, frankly. A failure to bridge the gap between what the tech can do and how the organization actually operates. It's like, buying a Formula One car but having no trained driver or pit crew and trying to drive it on city streets.
You have the capability, but not the context or the skills to use it right.
Precisely. There's this huge mismatch between the technical possibility and the organizational reality, the understanding.
And the fix, according to the sources, isn't just, let's create an AI strategy document. It's something deeper. Business domain reimagination.
Correct. That's the key phrase. You have to fundamentally rewire your tech strategy into your main corporate strategy. It's not an add-on. It means rethinking core business workflows first and then figuring out how the technology enables that new vision.
Rather than just applying shiny new tech to the same old broken process.
Exactly. That rarely works.
And the talent piece seems huge here too. It's not just about finding those scarce AI PhDs or cloud architects, is it?
No. I mean, you need those specialists, absolutely. But the bigger, maybe more strategic challenge is moving the rest of the organization along, upskilling the general workforce. Because they're the ones who ultimately need to use these tools effectively to unlock the real value.
You need everyone speaking the language, at least a little bit.
Right. And agentic AI throws another wrench into the works here. A whole new layer of complexity we haven't really faced before.
How so?
Well, we're moving from software that's largely predictable, deterministic, to systems that are probabilistic. They learn, they adapt. They might not do the exact same thing every time.
That sounds risky, technically.
It can be. Especially in multi-agent systems. Imagine one agent hands off work to another, which hands off to a third. If the first agent has even a tiny, say, 1% error rate in its output, yeah, by the time that output gets processed through several more agents, that small error can compound. It could blow up into like a 25% failure rate at the very end of the automated process.
Wow, okay. That technical instability forces a completely different kind of thinking organizationally.
It has to. These autonomous agents demand totally new ways of working, new hybrid collaboration models.
Which raises some pretty fundamental, almost existential questions about management, doesn't it?
It really does. Will we have humans managing teams of AI agents? Or could the agents, with their ability to analyze and coordinate, actually end up managing teams of humans for certain tasks? It sounds like sci-fi, but these are real questions being asked.
So wrapping this up, the message seems clear. The tech is advancing incredibly fast.
And it's becoming more accessible, more transparent. The authors were really unambiguous about this. Leaders just cannot afford to wait on the sidelines, planning to be a fast follower.
Why not? Isn't that sometimes a valid strategy? Let others make the mistakes.
Not here, apparently, because the tech itself is becoming easier to acquire. The real differentiator, the competitive distance, comes from mastering the organizational changes needed now.
So you have to get in the game and run with the ball, as they put it. Figure out how to handle this probabilistic tech, how to reorganize your teams. The time for just watching and debating is over.
It seems so. That urgency, combined with this deep complexity of managing autonomous systems, it leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. Given that agentic AI seems to demand immediate engagement, and success hinges, like 80% of it, on fundamentally changing how your teams operate, Consider this.
Yeah.
In this race to implement autonomous AI agents, are you spending enough time, enough resources preparing your people for a future
Right.
where their work isn't just assisted by AI, but potentially managed by a probabilistic machine?